In this video, I will show you how to install DHCP server in Windows Server. And as you can see, this Windows Server is installed as a virtual machine in VMware Workstation. And now I will click on Local Server, and as you can see in the properties, I already set the server name and I joined it to my domain. Also, as you can see on my Ethernet adapter, I have set a static IP for the server. If I click on it, then right click my Ethernet adapter and go to Properties, then double click Internet Protocol version 4, and then you can see here what static IP settings I have here. And they depend on your network configuration. Now I will close all the windows and go back to the dashboard. And now we can install the DHCP service on the server by clicking Add Roles and Features. Here we can click Next. Make sure role-based or feature-based installation is selected and click Next. Here make sure that the server on which you want to install the DHCP service is selected and click Next. And here we want to select a DHCP server. Then Add Features and Next. Next, Next, and Install. As you can see, the DHCP server has been installed and now we need to configure it. For that, let's click on Complete DHCP Configuration. Click Next here. Now we need to provide user credentials that has permissions to authorize the DHCP server and create few groups for administrating it. In this case, I'm using account name admin and it is a domain administrator account. So I will select Commit and close. Now we can close this window. And now we need to configure our DHCP server for it to start assigning IP addresses for our devices. And as you can see, now we have a new menu item in our left menu, and it's DHCP. Let's click on it. Here we see our DHCP server. We can right click on it and select DHCP Manager. Let's expand our server here. Right click on IPv4 and select New Scope. Now click Next. Now we need to name our scope. I will name it Local Network. I will leave the description blank and click Next. Now we need to enter the IP address from which it will start assigning. I will enter 192.168.10 and let's say 100, and now the ending is 192.168.10 and let's say 200. So that will give us 101 IP address. And as you can see, it already put in the values for the length and subnet mask. So click Next. And here we can exclude a range of IP addresses in the range that we provided before. But I will leave everything blank here and click Next. And here we need to enter the lease duration, and the lease duration is how long a client can use an IP address before asking for it again. And as you can see, by default it's 8 days, but in current environments where people are using their laptops on docking stations and Ethernet, and then go to meeting rooms and use Wi-Fi, also have phones with Wi-Fi, I think 8 days is way too much, because one person can occupy maybe 2 or even 4 addresses at a single time. So instead of 8 days, I like to set it to 8 hours for one work day. So on every day, the leases are released. But everything depends on the environment, on how many devices you have, and how big of a IP pool your DHCP server assigns. So I suggest that you experiment with the values here and see what's the best for you. Okay, now we can click next. Here make sure that, yes, I want to configure these options now. You select it and click next. Now we need to provide the default gateway. For me it's 192.168.10.254. Click add and next. For parent domain, make sure that your domain name is provided. And also here you could add more DNS servers if you have them. In my case, I only have one, so I will leave as is and click next. And I don't use a Win server. It's kind of deprecated. And I'm pretty sure that you're not using one also. So let's click next here. And next and finish. And that's it. We have our DHCP server installed and our IP pool configured. Now we can test it. Here I have another virtual machine. I will power it on and let's see if it will get the IP address from this DHCP server. Let's wait a bit, then refresh, and as you can see, we have our DHCP client right here. If we go to the server, it says that it found an IP address, and this is the domain name for that network. I'll click now here. Let's open command prompt and check the IP configuration. I will type ipconfig -all. And as you can see here, we have our domain name for our DNS suffix. Here we have an IP address from the pool that we configured. And here is the gateway. And here is the IP address of the DHCP server. And also our DNS server. So everything seems to work just fine. So that's it for this video. If you want to see more videos like this, you can like and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one.